Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's lesson from Beaver on the Go. This week for Reader's Workshop, we are going to be working on theme. Now, we talked about theme much earlier in the year, so we need to come back to it and review what is theme, why is it important, how do we figure out what it is. So, theme is different from our story elements, our characters, our setting, our plot, our problem, and our solution. Now, our theme cannot happen without those story elements. So listen to that one more time. Theme and story elements, character, setting, plot, problem, and solution, are two separate things. They're different. But you can't have a theme without those story elements. We use the story elements to tell us what the theme is. So let's review. What is a theme? The theme is the moral or lesson that the author wants you to learn and apply to everyday life. Listen one more time. The theme is the moral or lesson that the author wants you to learn and apply to everyday life. I like to think of it as the heart of the story. What does the author want me to take from this story to put into my heart? What's the big idea that the author wants me to learn? Okay, let's look at some common themes, and I think this will make more sense. A favorite theme of many authors is good versus evil. Think any princess story. Think any superhero movie for all my Marvel fans out there. Good versus evil. The good characters show that actions overcome evil or the villain. A book I like to think of is The Lorax. The Lorax is the good character. The Onceler who's cutting down all the trees is the evil character. Lorax shows up, I speak for the trees. You need to stop cutting down the trees, it's not good. The Onceler keeps cutting down all the trees. Now, interestingly enough, you think that the Lorax isn't going to overcome evil in the end, but then you learn at the very end he finally does. So, good versus evil. Very, very, very common theme in a lot of texts. Another one is friendship. In that you make friends and you make the world a better place by being a kind and friendly person. A story that I like to think of for friendship is The Rainbow Fish. If you don't know The Rainbow Fish, it's a story about a fish and he has lots of beautiful shiny scales. One day, another fish asks him, "Rainbow Fish, may I have one of your scales? They're so beautiful." And Rainbow Fish is rude and quite honestly not very nice to him. And then the other fish start to not want to play with him because they think he's rude and selfish. So I won't tell the whole story if you want to read it, Rainbow Fish learns in the end that he needs to be kind and friendly so that people want to be around him. That's your theme of friendship. Courage. Your characters have the strength to overcome a fear or accept a risk. So that's a big theme in a lot of stories. I think of a good one off the top of my head for courage. I'll use Moana. Moana has a theme of courage. Moana knows that she has to go out and cross the ocean, which is very scary, but she needs to do it in order to protect her island and save her island. So she goes out and does it, even though she knows it might be dangerous. Loyalty. Characters trust each other and never turn their backs on their friends. Oh, a favorite of mine, The Giving Tree. The tree is always there for the boy. She always has his back. She always has something to help him with. Even when he's not always the nicest to her, and he just takes and takes and takes, She is loyal. She doesn't turn her back on her friends. Another common theme is accepting others or acceptance. The characters in the story accept others' differences and beliefs and respect them. A good one for that would be the story Chrysanthemum, about the little mouse who goes to school for the first time and everyone makes fun of their name because it's so long and it scarcely fits on a page. Through the end of the story, they learn to accept Chrysanthemum for her very long name and know that a name is just a name. It doesn't make someone a good or a bad person. Your next common theme is honesty. Characters find it best to always tell the truth. A good one for honesty. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but if I do, I'm going to come back and tell you. But there are lots of books that have the honesty trait. It's always best to tell the truth. Perseverance. Characters never give up even when something is hard to do. A favorite one of mine from this is called The Carrot Seed. It's a very old book about a little boy who plants a carrot seed. And it doesn't grow, and it doesn't grow, and it doesn't grow, and it doesn't grow, but it doesn't matter. He keeps trying, and eventually, in the end of the story, he grows a carrot. He doesn't give up, even when it's hard, and even when he is discouraged. Another common theme is teamwork. Working together helps solve a problem. Think, again, your superhero movies, specifically, and guys, I'm thinking of the Avengers. Sure, each superhero is cool on their own, but individually, they couldn't defeat the big villain. They had to work together as a team. So teamwork tends to be a common theme in a lot of stories as well. And lastly, we have kindness. Characters are generous and considerate of each other. I use another Dr. Seuss reference. Think Horton Hears a Who, where Horton says a person is a person no matter how small, where he tries to save the tiny little town on that little flower. It's like, I hear them, I know they're there, and even though everybody thinks I'm crazy, I'm going to be considerate of these people because I know they're there. So, those are common themes. Those aren't the only themes, but for you guys right now, those are the most common ones that you guys are going to see in a story. So, how do I find a theme? 99% of the time, unless you are reading a fable, your theme has to be inferred. The author is not going to come out and tell you the theme of the story is kindness. No. Only in a fable where at the end, the moral of the story is. It's the only one where it's going to directly tell you. So 99.99999% of the time, you have to infer the theme. You have to take the hints that the author gives you and put it together with what you know. So what do we look for? What was the problem in the story? What's the challenge that you have the character has to face? That's a big hint into what your theme is. For instance, back to Moana. What's the problem? Her island is dying. She has to do something very challenging and risky in order to try to save her island. Secondly, what do you look for? What does the character learn? What does the character learn throughout the course of the story? Going back through Moana, Moana learns that she doesn't need Maui to help her do the scary thing. She was able to do it on her own the whole time. And lastly, what can you look for? How does the character grow? Moana grows. She learns to believe in herself. So you look for the problem. What does the character learn? and how do the characters grow throughout the story. Those are going to be the big things to look for as you're working on theme. Now, one quick thing before I send you off to work on your theme activities for the day. Some of you might be thinking, and they're like, well, Moana has a couple themes. It has the courage theme and it has the perseverance theme. Yes, a story may have more than one theme, especially as you get older and your stories get longer. You can have more than one theme. Oftentimes a story will have a major theme. That's the big theme that goes throughout the whole story. In order to achieve and tell that big theme, there might be some minor themes, some smaller themes built in. Good versus evil. You're not having good versus evil without courage. Oftentimes, those two themes are very often found together. Good versus evil would be the major theme, but it's told with the minor theme, the smaller theme of courage, because there have to be little bits of the story where the characters have courage in order for good to win over evil. So a story can have more than one theme. Oftentimes it has a major theme, the big theme that the whole story is trying to tell. And oftentimes that big theme happens because little themes, perseverance, courage, honesty, happen in events in the story. So your major theme is the whole story. You may get some minor themes in events in the story, and they help achieve the major theme. So there you go, guys. There's your lesson today from Theme and from Beaver on the Go. I will see you guys later.